Welcome to PFAX on EcoDev, the show that takes you inside the economic development of Pflugerville, Texas. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and each episode we will introduce you to the people and events that make our city so attractive to companies and their employees. Pfluger Talk is just another of the impactful initiatives created by the PCDC, Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming John Jenkins from Cumberland Additive to the show. John, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I get to talk business. I love that. It's a blast.
I hear you.
So let's start with you, how you got into this industry, and then we'll talk a little bit about Cumberland themselves.
Okay. Well, so my recent background with RTI and Alcoa kind of converges with this business that we now call Cumberland Additive. I worked for Howmet, a division of Alcoa in the metals airframe industry for about 9 years, and was recruited to a company called RTI International, which was a titanium company. Worked for Don Hickton, who was our CEO, and we acquired a business here in the Austin area, Pflugerville to be specifically. It was called Directed Manufacturing. And a couple years later, Alcoa then bought RTI, and I stayed for another year, and then we kind of parted ways. And then back in late 2018, I guess it was, Don Hickton, again, previous CEO at RTI, said, I think that business that we bought in Pflugerville might be available again. And so we started looking at it, and so we pulled together a group of family and friend investors and bought the business from, at that point in time, Arconic. And we've been running the business since June 1st of 2019.
Nice. And when I hear the word additive, I think of this is a simplistic explanation. You know, you buy ice cream and you add the mix-ins. What exactly is an additive?
Well, so it's not quite that use of the word additive.
Right.
So additive comes from, if you think about traditional manufacturing, it's considered to be subtractive manufacturing. So, you know, we, especially in the metals world, if you think about starting with an ingot or a forging or a casting, typically you start with a block of metal and you machine away the part, or you machine away metal, leaving the component or the part that you're trying to manufacture. So again, subtracting metals to get to the part. Here we start with powder metal, very small, 40 to 80 micron powder, and we layer. We put a layer of powder down, and then we use laser or electron beam energy source to basically center or fuse that powder together, and we build a part layer by layer. And so, right the opposite of subtractive manufacturing, it's additive manufacturing.
Nice. And just listening to that explanation, I'm thinking of, gosh, countless industries that can use this sort of stuff. If you could touch on those, who takes advantage of this technology?
We consider ourselves kind of experts in the powder bed fusion technology of additive. If you're really looking at additive manufacturing, there's just varied technologies out there to kind of achieve the same thing. We use the technology, it's called fusion, powder bed fusion, again, using a laser or or electron beam as the energy source. There's binder printing. There's SLS print. There's all kinds of technology of printing, and some are more industrialized than others, and some are more capable to do near shape versus a finished component. So there's a lot of varieties when you just call additive manufacturing as a whole. So we think we're in one of the more precise additive technologies, and we service defense, space, energy, aerospace, medical, and then kind of what a host of what I would call industrial markets. And the advantage that we bring to the table over the traditional manufacturing is really rapid turnaround, lower tooling and material cost, and the ability to print geometries that you cannot manufacture otherwise. For those characteristics, I mean, additive can really be applied to almost any market if you've got the ability to, add that material that you're needing together.
Nice. So you dealt with this company before. What made it attractive this time to come back in?
Well, again, it was using mainstream powder bed fusion printers. So we use SLM, EOS, GE printing technologies or printing platforms, and they are kind of the mainstay, if you will, of this type of printing. We print nickel, titanium, aluminum, stainless, various alloys of those metals. We also use a similar process to print various polymer parts. And so the capability at this facility and already looking at the customers in the markets that they serve made it very attractive.
Got it. And then what about the city of Pflugerville itself? What does it offer, that makes it a good home for this company?
Well, so Pflugerville is, on the outskirts of Austin. Pflugerville has become a nexus of technology and know-how and manufacturing, the infrastructure, the closeness of universities, both UT, A&M, ACC, et cetera, and the diversity of customers in the area makes it a really good place to start and kind of centralize your operation from.
Nice. And what makes Cumberland stand out? What differentiates you from the competition out there?
That is a very good question. So I think there's a couple of things that we like to think that differentiates us, and I think we're doing all the right things because customers keep coming back to us. But I think our people and our culture is one. It starts with there. We have a very can-do attitude. We consider ourselves to be nimble. In the markets that we serve, and especially post-pandemic, where you have seen supply chain disruptions for various reasons, being able to kind of plant yourself in that gap in that supply chain and provide solutions for those customers on an ongoing basis, I think that can-do attitude that comes from our people and our culture is the first thing that would differentiate us from others. We try to make sure we have the best talent in the business. Every position at Cumberland is considered to be technical. It's not for just, the general laborer off the street. It takes time to learn it. So we have to invest a lot into our people. And I think they appreciate that. And then they are invested in the company. And so they are invested in our customers. And so that's kind of a continuation of that culture and that can-do attitude to our customers. So that nimbleness, that agility to respond to customers very rapidly, with the technical expertise to control processes, meet very rigorous qualification criteria. I think it provides everything a customer is looking for, and we do that consistently.
Nice. Well, that differentiation seems to be working because Cumberland Additive is growing, right?
It is.
Talk about some of that growth.
So if I can just take the year 2020 and kind of wipe it away.
Right? A lot of people wish that.
So subtract that from the timeline, and we have nearly doubled or more than doubled year over year since 2019. We've doubled in people, we've doubled in revenue, we've doubled in our output. I think we've doubled in our capability as well. So it's truly growing, and we're not looking to slow that growth up. We want to continue down that steeper growth curve for as long as we can.
Nice. And what about the PCDC and how they interact with you guys? What benefits have you seen from working with them?
So PCDC is a really good partner for anyone in the Pflugerville area. For us, they've supported us in our growth. They supported us in our move. We recently moved from one location in Pflugerville, about 5 miles closer to 130, still in Pflugerville. They helped us and supported us with that move. They've provided us with some financial incentives to help us attract and train good people. So, if I look back at 2019, I think we had about 14 people in the business, and we've got 40 people today. And not all of them are in Pflugerville, but probably 70+% is in Pflugerville. And so we're attracting good talent and bringing them to Pflugerville. Of course, we have hired people that are local as well as migrated people here as well. The other thing I would say about PCDC, so we did this early on. We partnered with them and ACC to do some training of students, giving them some hands-on opportunity to work in a high-tech manufacturing environment, and that worked very, very well. And I think the opportunity comes again, we'll re-engage that partnership as well.
Nice. And speaking of those partnerships, what's been your experience with working with other local businesses and organizations in the area? So
I mentioned that Pflugerville is kind of the nexus for high-tech manufacturing. So I can't get real specific with our customers, but there are a ton of customers in and around the area that we engage with, and again, that's one of the good reasons why Pflugerville, Austin is a good place to be located. I won't say every company has even similar culture, but I think when you're in an area like Pflugerville, you will find more that are like-minded, like culture companies that has that can-do attitude, has the willingness to partner with you and do the right thing. So I find that very encouraging.
Nice. And let's say you're somewhere at a trade show or conference, you're talking to other business people who are considering relocating. How would you tell them to think about Pflugerville?
Local universities, access to educated technical talent, infrastructure, a community of already, looking customers that's looking for capable and agile suppliers. So I think all of that together makes Pflugerville a winning opportunity for any new company that's wanting to engage in specifically high-tech manufacturing. And I can't really speak for other type service industries, but for those, I would certainly recommend it.
And then finally, we've talked about the growth. Is Cumberland Additive looking to expand into other markets or industries, things like that?
The answer is yes and no. We're already in the defense industry. We've got really, we work with tier one customers across the board. Just a nice group of high name, high brand customers. Same with aerospace. Same in the energy, oil and gas business. We are, I won't say well established, but we have our foot in the right places, and we're expanding in those markets as we go. The one market that we are what I would call kind of an emerging market for us is the medical market. We are doing some work, and it's what I would call pretty small % of our overall business today. But that is definitely an area that we believe has huge opportunities of growth in it. We believe we bring everything from a technical and capability standpoint that market is looking for, whether it be implants or tools or accessories in the medical field. And so we are not just, we're trying to take a very conservative, because that's a very serious industry that you don't want to mess up in. So we're trying to take a very conservative and thoughtful, mindful approach as to how we expand in that market. But that's a market that we're looking at.
Sounds good. Well, John Jenkins with Cumberland Additive. Gosh, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with us and sharing some of your story. It's a fascinating company, and look forward to seeing you continue to grow.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the PFAX on EcoDev show, brought to you by the Pflugerville Community Development Corporation. I'm your host, Chris Daly. I want to thank my guests. I also especially want to thank you, the listener, for giving me what I consider the most important gift you can, your time, your attention. Please like and share this show so we can get it in front of more people and more people can learn about economic development. To learn more about Pflugerville and all the amazing things going on, head over to pfdevelopment.com.